Hello again, folks, and welcome to my channel. I got a request yesterday about how to mod in this game, and I thought that would actually be a good video for newer players because I don't think I've actually covered it. There's probably some other videos or written tutorials out there to do how to do this, but I figured this would be good to at least reach my audience. If someone else stumbles across this, then hey, it's going to help them out either way, and that's what we want to do, is just help each other out. So let's just say you got yourself a brand new weapon, and in this case we'll have a Bratton Prime that does not have a potato in it, so its capacity is only 30. You already know that, hey, serration, bringing up the base damage, that's good. You've probably stumbled across some of these Bane mods, which at face value seem good. So in this case says 25% damage to Grineer, and then let's say a slash mod, which only leaves me with 2. Alright, well, we're going to go ahead and test this really quick, which probably not going to surprise anyone, but it's not going to be doing very good. At a certain level, you're going to see your weapon damage falling off pretty hard. Because like right now, if this was like at level 20, yeah, it'd probably kill them fine, but suddenly you're placing 30 or 40 level of these, and it's having a bit of a time doing it. And like there, it took a little over a clip to take care of one. So what I'm going to do now is remod this weapon for corrosive. And before I get into that, I wanted to say that if you've noticed that there are 3 tabs at the top which are labeled config A, B, and C, there's 3 of them for 3 different reasons, and I have them labeled as such. In most of the cases, you're going to be modding your weapons for exactly what you're fighting. And in this case, I have one for Grineer, Corpus, Infested, and you can rename them by clicking that button up here and then just renaming them. So let's say we had some Grineer units there, and so we're going to mod specifically for Grineer, which means not this, not the physical damage, even though you see, in this case, slash at the highest. In this case, we actually want to mod for what's called corrosive, and you get corrosive by combining toxin and electricity. Alright, so right now we have corrosive, and now you can see that corrosive damage is, higher than the slash. Well, this is going to work for 2 reasons. One is because since you're fighting Grineer, if you're going into a Grineer mission, you bring, your Grineer loadout. There's 2 reasons for this. When you proc corrosive damage, you actually lower the enemy's armor. And if you lower the armor, then you're going to be doing more damage over and over until all their armor is gone or they just die outright. The second is Grineer get a bonus damage from the corrosive. So the effect is twofold. So here we go. This is just 2 mods in here, and we're going to see how much different this is. Now grant these are the status elemental mods, so these are going to be dealing a little more damage, but you can see right now just with these 2, as where it took 1 clip to kill one, now within 1 clip, in this case, it kills almost 3 of them. And there we go. Now remember, this is an unpotato weapon, so imagine how it is with a fully potatoed one. And let me see if I can find one that I don't have a ribbon for. Let's say, okay, we'll go with the Prisoner Ricotta. That's a very good weapon. And here I have this modded for corrosive. Now, there are other things into play like crit chance and status, and you do want to play to the advantages of the weapon, but at base, here's let's say an even better idea. I'm gonna put it over here, which is not corrosive, and we are going to go up against some level 150s. So as you can see, Yes, I'm dealing damage, but you're just seeing 97 over and over again. Already gone through a clip, screen is shaking like crazy, and I'm probably going to run out of ammo before I even kill one. Okay. So we're not getting anywhere. So let's switch over to the corrosive build. Now grant, that is still with the same crit chance and status chance and crit multiplier as well. So now let's go over to corrosive, and you'll see like the magnetic damage is actually even, you know, higher than this corrosive, but we're going to run with this. I'll reset these guys, and you're going to see a big difference. There we go. That took less than one clip to kill, and as you see, this is a lot more effective, and these are against, you know, level 150 enemies. So I'm not going to show, you know, fighting every faction, but you get the idea now, is that you do want a damage type for each one. So how do you make these damage types? This is something I think a lot of people need to know as well. So in this case, you get corrosive, and you'll see it even has the icons here for it. It is electricity and toxin. For Grineer, a good one to use is magnetic, and kind of the same reason is that Corpus take more damage from magnetic. You get a bonus for it. And the last one, let's see if I have it on here, and I don't, but this one's radiation. I don't want radiation, so let's say here we have heat and toxin. So you'd want gas, which gas is oh, I actually have the wrong thing in here, don't I? Yes, I do. It's because I had that Stormbringer. So we'll get that out of there, and we'll bring, you know, let's say, an infected clip in there. So now this would be gas, which would be good for that. Okay, so that, you know, covers the base of what element to fight for which one. Now, in the weapons, it's a little different than it is for your Warframe, in that you'll notice that you know, of course, you have quite a few mod slots, and sometimes you just throw them in, and you're like, well, wait a second, you know, now I have I don't have the element I want. So let's switch back over to this Bratton, and let's go to upgrade. Let's get rid of this Serration. So let's say I have some other ones in here, like you're like, okay, I want more stats, so I'm throwing rhyme rounds in here and some other, but I have these two in here which should make corrosive. Oh wait, it's not happening. Now I actually have electricity and viral. Well, that is because slots are prioritized in the weapons, and how it works is like reading a book. So top down, left to right. So reading this way, you know, left to right on the top row, and then left to right on the next row. So if I were to throw rhyme rounds, you know, after these, now you will see I have corrosive again, corrosive and cold. So later on, as you start piling up more, so let's say in this case, hey, this is actually a status weapon, so you want to mod things for status, which this would actually be a good idea. But with that in mind, make sure that if you are building, let's say in this case corrosive, you want, you know, your toxin and your electricity as far up to the left as possible. So now when you throw anything else on like this, it's still going to keep that corrosive intact. And let me reset that. There we go. So yeah, corrosive is always staying here no matter what. But as soon as I switch it out, yeah, now you have viral, which in this case you don't want. Not to say you don't ever use viral, but just keep in mind that whatever mods you want in, there is an order to them to create the element that you want. And this doesn't just apply for primaries. This is going to be for your secondaries, your melees. The same still applies, in that you want to be bringing in damage type for whatever you're fighting against. So, like, let's say when you're doing sorties and you're, you know, going in between the missions, and You're wondering why some people aren't, readying up in time. Well, a lot of times they're going back in their arsenal and they're changing their weapons. Like what they're doing, they have a Grineer build, Corpus build, and an Infested build, and they're making sure that they are switching between them. So make sure to mod for what you're fighting against, and I said go ahead and save them in these configs, because that is much quicker than just having to constantly swap out mods, because when you have 8 mods full and you want to try to manage them, it becomes a pain. So use these tabs and use loadouts as well. Loadouts is something I can cover another time, but let's say if I wanted to bring a different frame with a set of weapons, well, now I can do that. So let's say, here I have Mirage and same applies. I'd, modded this for Corrosive to go up against Grineer. Anyway, that's it. I don't want to get too over the top, too much into this, because that's, let's say, the base of everything is build for, what you're going to be fighting against. And so, hope you enjoy that. Hope it helps you out. Like and subscribe this video, and make sure to catch me on Twitch, because I've been streaming there a lot lately. Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays at 7 p.m. Mountain. Be doing giveaways all the time, and once I get YouTube up to where I want, I'm going to be starting doing giveaways there as well, and probably doing like actual physical things. So instead of stuff in game, hey, maybe shirts and things like that. So again, thank you very much for watching, and you folks have a good day.